Hey everyone, it's me Celeste, welcome back. Today I'm going to be teaching you a little bit about the reasons I started meditating, why I think it's a good thing to do. Then on the follow-up video next to this one is going to just be a meditation video which you can play over and over. I didn't want to put too much talking on that one because it's so nice to just hit play and go straight into something and not have too much explanation. But I did want to give you a bit of background as to how I got meditating and why I think it's improved my life. A great place for me to just start is tell you my story and how meditation came into my life, which I think is a bit of a funny story because actually before this moment I'd never ever tried meditation and I didn't really know anything about it. But I decided to go to India to do my yoga teacher training, and whilst I was there I met this guy in Goa and he was like, oh, I've just done this amazing meditation program called Vipassana. And I was like, what is that? I've never heard of it before. And he explained basically this is a meditation thing you go to do for 10 days. You're on this retreat and you're meditating for 10 hours a day, and whilst you're meditating you're not really supposed to move and you're not talking to anyone the whole 10 days, and you're not even supposed to make eye contact with your fellow meditators. And I'm not kidding guys, the first thing that went through my mind when I heard that was like, weirdo. Like, why would you do that? Like, sit down for 10 hours a day? That's just crazy. So that's the first thing that went through my mind, like, weird. But then actually I remember going on to my teacher training. This was back in 2009, and I started planning what I'm going to do after my training because I still had a month left in India. And one day I went to the bank to just see what my budget is, how much money have I got left so that I can plan the things I want to do. And I literally had a heart attack when I looked at the screen because my bank balance was so little. How am I going to get through 1 month with that amount of money? I didn't really want to call my parents for help because I've done that in the past before, and although they wouldn't mind, they would always be really supportive. I really didn't want to do it this time. Anyway, I decided I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to make this work one way or another. I went to a few other people that I had met on my training that also spoke about Vipassana, and I was like, so like, how much does Vipassana actually cost? And they were like, oh, it's on donation only. And I was like, okay, sweet. At least I'll have a roof over my head and I'll have some food, and then what I can do is just donate another time. You know, as soon as I get back to England and I start working again, I'll then donate. I know it's a very bad reason to go and do a meditation course. Please don't take my advice. But the good thing that came from it is I would never ever have decided to do this course had I not been pushed into the circumstance of having to go, like needing to go, otherwise it's like life or death survival. So off I trotted to Vipassana, and honestly I had the most transformational experience while I was there. I'm not going to say it was easy, it was really hard. I'm someone who finds it difficult to sit still, and so having to sit still for that amount of time each and every day was, I would say, physically quite demanding for me. And also I'm a very chatty, outgoing person, and they expect you to be silent for a whole 10 days. I actually found that not as hard as I thought I would have. In fact, when we did break the silence on the last day, I actually kind of missed the quietness and no one really having to talk. But being quiet within your own head for 10 whole days, it is a struggle, because what you discover about your own mind is that you literally have the same thoughts that literally are like a washing machine just going over and over and over and over and over. That the same stuff comes up, and without the distraction of like TV, radio, your phone, a bit of book, I don't know, audiobook, whatever, all the stuff I love, wow, your mind is just what it is. And I discovered, wow, I'm not as interesting or exciting as I thought I was. I'm kind of boring. But then also you go past that phase and you really do start becoming more in the present moment, and you start to, it feels like old wounds and old mental things pop up, and you work through those with your meditation. So I found it a really transformational experience. And actually when I left the Vipassana course, I was in India, in Bangalore, and Bangalore is a crazy city, guys. Literally there's just so much going on, sensory overload. And I was by myself with this massive backpack on my back, and I just felt so calm. And the whole trip, was always a bit of nervousness when you're in India because it's so crazy, but I was just really calm, and I just felt like my mind was constant. And the word that they used on the meditation course was equanimity. You're always in the state of equanimity. You don't have a lot of very high highs or very low lows. You kind of just deal with life in the best way possible. The highs and lows are happening outside of you, but inside you're not subject to all of that up and down. You're constant. And I can honestly say that the more I realize this constant, relaxed state within myself, the better I started dealing with life. Now, you get this amazing transformational experience when you leave there, but the effects kind of taper off the more you get back into normal life. But I can honestly say that actually still, I have got a little bit of that constant inside me. It's not as still as when I did Vipassana back in 2009, but still now, things are happening outside of me and I can really just see it for what it is. And there is a little fluctuation inside me, but it used to be a lot more dramatic. And I think part of the reason why I have this mini fluctuation as opposed to big fluctuations is because I've kept up my meditation practice. And this is where I wanted to talk to you guys about different styles of meditation and how to weave it into your everyday. Because I think the biggest thing is everybody's different and everyone's going to find something that works for them. And I find actually different days, I have different preferences. So for example, some days I don't have a lot of stress on for work and I can sit down and I can do a Vipassana meditation quite easily. Now what that involves is just sitting quietly. You focus on the touch of air around your nose here and you expand the awareness to all the sensations present in your breathing around your nose. And then you become aware of all the sensations present on your skin moving down your body and all the sensations present as you move up. What this teaches you might be like, well, what are you going to get out of that? Well, what I took away from my Vipassana training was when you have got stuff happening in your life, let's say someone's horrible to you, the first thing that's going to happen inside of you is you're going to have a physical reaction of hurt or pain or shock, and that's always going to register as a physical feeling in your body. Now what the meditation is teaching you is that you register that there's a feeling, but you don't attach emotion to it. You don't become like, oh my god, this is such a bad feeling, how could they do that to me, it made me feel so bad. You're just like, I have a feeling. A feeling is a feeling. Pain is pain. A good feeling is a good feeling. It's all just a feeling. And suddenly it takes the power out of that moment. So you learn that on a very experiential level. I'm teaching you 10 days of content here in like 30 seconds. So that is one thing that you experience. But very often if I come home at night and I'm exhausted, I don't have the energy to deal with such a big thing like a Vipassana meditation session. So what I do is I might be exhausted and I'll just lie on my back and I'll just focus on my body, breathe slowly, and just start doing something like, I'm grateful for my body, I'm grateful for my heart, I'm grateful that I can digest my food every day and that I'm getting my nutrients. I'm grateful for my skin. I can feel hugs from my friends and family. Like, really simple, right? Just keeping it very, very basic so that my mind doesn't have to work hard. It can do something gentle, but it's still a mindful practice and it's still bringing my mind into the present. Other types of meditation, which I know people have explored, I haven't done much of this, is something like a walking meditation, or you practice complete mindfulness when you're doing something arbitrary like washing the dishes or stroking your cat. I actually do the cat one quite a lot because I have a cat. And you just become so present with what you're doing and you use that as your meditation. I think it's important to mix it up, and I think it's important to do a variety, find out which one works for you, and then still keep mixing it up a little, but have like a one that you really love. The final one that I want to share with you is one of my favorites, and it's also a really good one to do if you have got a lot on your plate. It's called Yoga Nidra. And what I'll do is next month I will actually record a Yoga Nidra for you. I actually have one on Yoga Download, which I'll link for you guys in the description box below. I have had a lot of positive feedback from people that have had stress or worry or sleepless nights and they've done it and it's helped. So do check out in the description box that Yoga Nidra session. And I'll do a free one for you later if you don't want to pay for that, so don't worry. And then finally, what I wanted to talk to you guys about and finish this video off with is how do you weave meditation into your daily routine? Because I think a lot of people are like, girl, I ain't got no time to be meditating. I haven't got time for the things I'm supposed to do, let alone meditate, which is something I probably don't want to do. So this is where I'm going to just start off by saying, yes, meditation might feel like something, it's not something you really, really want to do, but it's a bit like eating vegetables. So much good is going to come from it. So please stick to it. Okay, weaving it into your daily routine. First thing I'm going to ask you is, do you go to sleep every night? Now, sometimes you might not, because maybe you've got a small baby, or maybe you're a video editor like my friend Johan here. He does a lot of editing late into the night, thank you. But what you will most nights do is go to sleep. And what I'm going to encourage you to do is, instead of lying down on the pillow straight away and sleeping, sit on your bed, close your eyes, and just do 10 breaths. Simple. Pretend that's the start of you going to sleep. Then lie down and have a sleep. Do that for like a week or a month, however long you want. When you're like, I'm used to this 10 breaths thing now, I'm ready for a bit more, set your alarm for 2 minutes. If 2 minutes feels too short, do 5 minutes. And again, just go into your breathing and focus on your breath. You can count your breaths if you want. You can focus on the sensation like I spoke about. You can just be like, I'm grateful for every breath by saying, thank you. Just every breath you're grateful for. There's a lot of different things you could do, okay? Research things that are gonna work for you, and then go to sleep. Then when you start thinking, oh, this 5-minute thing, I'm getting good at this shit, then start taking it a little bit further and maybe add the 6th minute or the 7th minute. But pretend that your meditation is part of your sleep routine. And similarly, if you, this is the hardest one, set your alarm when you wake up in the morning for just 5 minutes or 10 minutes early. Switch off your alarm, and if you can, and I really encourage you to try this, sit up, close your eyes, and just start your day with a little mini meditation. And again, if it feels too much to do 5 minutes, just 10 breaths. And then when the last breath is finished, I guarantee you your day is going to go better. So I've given you a lot of different things there. Obviously, my story about how I got into meditation is not the most romantic, but it at least got me meditating, and I'm so grateful for that experience. Secondly, remember there's lots of different types. Explore the different types. That one of them is going to work for you. I just know it. And then lastly, instead of thinking as meditation as something separate that you've got to do, imagine it's part of something you already do, like going to sleep. Thank you so much for listening to all this. Please stay in touch with me and let me know how you get on with the meditation that I'm going to film next for you. And I'll see you there. I can't wait. Mwah. Bye.